Dr. Broadboard.
Broadboard.
That's right.
You know, I wish I had this uniform on B5. This is the one Joe didn't see. This is the one we should have had. I like those big buttons.
I think they've shared in.
And I should have worn a cape. I
You
really.
put that on a cake, you'd be like,
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Capes.
Yeah, they call it.
well,
Capes are good.
Hey, if Kosh can have one, you can have one.
Kosh was just a, yeah, he had a lampshade. Anyway, so it looks like we have a small, intimate group of people.
Yeah.
Do we really need these?
Hi, how you doing?
Not right.
Not really, because it's not like this. Why don't I just come and sit with you guys? I mean, I feel kind of odd here.
But anyway, here we are.
Whatever.
Did you like the blue uniform or the black uniform?
I like the original uniform, the Air Force. Black one looked like a pair of some kind of pajamas. It did.
Even with the vest on.
And I'm streaming. You can see I'm going to be all into it. No, I did. I preferred it because the original one was based on the World War II Eisenhower jacket and pants. You know, the original B5 looked kind of, it had a wonderful retro look to it. You know, it kind of looked like an old 40s war movie. And our hair had to be cut. There were no, except for Jason Carter. But then again, he was Jason Carter. And is still, he's still around. But we had to be clean cut looking and hair combed back up in a way, like sort of like in the 40s. The old movies with Joe's is very much influenced by that. So anyway, here we are. It's the last thing I have to do. I'm going home tomorrow.
4 a.m.
Long ways to go. It
Do you fly to Auckland to
is. I fly to Sydney to LA.
Oh, 13.
We arrive at 6:45 supposedly. Tuesday when I leave, at the same time. Tuesday here. It's a time travel machine.
Yeah, you go back.
So I'm going to be useless for the next couple of days. Then I go to Winnipeg, one of the more scenic parts of Canada. And wow, it's going to be cold up there.
Yeah.
That's going to be deep cold. And there for a couple of days I'm home. And then later on in November, about 2 weeks later, I'm in outside of Boston, which is still going to be cold. So I'm going to be cold. It's cold. You know, this is nice, kind of cool.
Is this like convention season?
All conventions, yes. I'm getting them all done before the holidays, and I'm going to take a time off for a while. So.
Plans for your time off?
Yeah.
Plans for your time off? That's right.
I'm going to try to get a job. You know, it would be nice to get an acting job again. It's been a while since GCB, which is already perhaps not this last summer, but you haven't had summer yet. So you're
Yeah,
I'm all goofed up here. Anyway, let's talk about Babylon 5. Is that what this thing is about?
Yeah.
I've already talked to you two, so I'm not talking to you. Unless you can think of a question you didn't ask me. There's 2 to 3 good, yes. Did you two young ladies watch that show at all? Or are you here with Mom? You've seen the show? You know, me either. We have that in common. Anyway, I don't have much to talk about unless you ask questions.
Say if you had any favorite Sheridan moments.
Oh, share a favorite. There are quite a few of them.
The Hitler one. The Hitler one?
Hitler one.
Yeah, I remember when you know when you had to do that Hitler act. Apparently on the commentary you really enjoyed it.
I had to do a Hitler act.
When they went forward 500 years into the future. And they came back and you were a program. And they reprogrammed you.
Remember.
And you had a lineup of aliens and you had to
Kill them all.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Those were the strangest type of things. I was never fond of those goofy nightmare stuff, you know, that we did in there. There were flash forward, flashbacks. And, I mean, I was actually dressed as in a picture as a Mimbari. No, as a Centauri.
Yes, you were.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's right.
This is where I thought Joe got off. He was having fun with everybody, you know. I like the more serious things, the relationships and stuff like that. No, it was that character is probably my favorite character. That and Scarecrow were probably my favorite characters. Oh, Luke became too. I don't have a favorite character. I can't answer that question that simply. It depends on what was the time of my life. I'd like to have a new character. How about that? I'm tired of talking about the old characters. I mean, you guys may want to talk about it, but can I tell you, it'd be like talking about what you were doing in second grade all the time. It was a long time ago, I mean, I try to be now and looking forward as opposed to living in the past. And I'm already doing Tron, which is a redo.
Old and new.
Old and new. See, that's still alive and going, whereas V5 isn't. But I should undo a lot of the damage I did in Australia on Babylon 5.
I need to watch those movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think they've snatched it,
I like
got
those.
rid of it. I'm probably going back to people who aren't talking to me anymore, but that's okay. No, Claudia forgave me. She sent an email, but I still love you anyway. We had some tough girls on Babylon 5. We did. Claudia was a toughie.
That's why we like
Mira, in her own way, is a very toughie. Andrea Thompson. We didn't talk much about Andrea Thompson early on.
She's married Jerry.
Pat Tallman certainly could have kicked your butt.
Oh, right.
Because she was a stunt woman for most of her earlier career.
Yep.
Oh yeah, very much so. She's been in a lot of big pictures. Was it Evil Dead? What's the one that she's in the first?
Yeah, I think it's Evil Dead.
No, not Evil Dead. My favorite subject matter. Zombies. The original Night of the Living Dead. It's a good one. That one scared the devil out of me. I don't like that genre because it does scare me. I've been in cities, lived in places where there were real zombies walking around, really horrible ones. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, let's start with a question. You're better than I am. I love Game of Thrones. I do. I've been sitting here in envy, sitting between the two, everybody here. I love Game of Thrones. If I was more built up, I'd love to be in Spartacus, then I wouldn't have to leave New Zealand. But maybe I could play an old Roman general or something. Like Marcus Licinius Crassus, I'd like to do that. As he tries to destroy Spartacus ultimately at the end. A Roman senator, maybe I could do that. What other shows do you think I do? How about I ask you the question?
He's spot on Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, that was That's got potential.
Next question. No,
Particularly so.
I've not really watched the show. I can't quite understand it, but Bazinga to you too.
No, that was the Bazinga.
I don't know. There's.
So if you were going to be on Game of Thrones, what would
I
you
have no
choose?
idea. I have no idea. I mean, there's so many great roles. But I'd probably get my head cut off. I was so shocked when Sean Bean got his head cut off. What? Nobody's safe from this thing. But Babylon 5, no one was safe.
No.
All of us were waiting to get killed at one time or another. And Sheridan goes off into Star Fury. It explodes because someone had mined it or something, And I'm dead, gone, fired. What else? No, I don't know right now. I mean, just anything I'd like to do. I did NCIS. They were telling me they would like to have me back on NCIS, but I think Mark and I look too much alike. We're kind of like brothers. I mean, I did this one when I saw the scene and I go, oh my God, we look like we're related. Which could have been a good thing too, maybe. But who knows? There's some new shows on right now. I was up for this role of the Admiral. My friend Bruce Davidson got it. It was on this new show called The Last Resort. Last Resort?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that?
Yeah.
I don't know how the numbers have been doing. I don't even know if it's on anymore. See, they take things, they'll premiere something, and if it's not pulling numbers in the first 2 weeks or so, they'll cancel it.
It's still going at the moment.
Still on?
About its fourth and still fifth now, though.
Oh, good. So it must be doing something. That's the problem with GCB. We did 10 episodes and it was gone. At least they ran the episodes, thank God. That one I kind of enjoyed. That's the one I really wanted to do because it was very different. I got to play a more comical role. Big doofus Texas, very wealthy man. And Annie Potts was like the first actress I'd worked with. And so long it reminded me of the same kind of chemistry that Kate Jackson and I had together. Kind of a wacky, sort of comedic relationship, and that was fun. You know, I want to do something different. That's the problem. You know, you get so pigeonholed. I played captains, I played presidents, I played this, I played senators, things like that. That's fine too, but the fact that Rob Harling, the producers, saw something different in me to play that role, Burl Lord, was great, but it never came to be. You know? So that's it. Any more questions?
I watched the Latin City interview that you did on the website.
Yeah.
And
Oh God, someone should have shut me up. She should have edited that. I went on way too long.
the question I really had
It was jet lag.
I don't know if it was by mistake or but
No.
you mentioned that you wanted bands and stuff to send in ideas to you.
Well, we have that. We've already done a lot of that. We have not ideas. They have to be designs.
How does that work legally when like most shows will say no, we can't?
Well, because there would be we have all legal papers all drawn up already that you don't try to come back and try to extort money out of us once you've given your design. Right up front, they have to realize they have to let it go, but if they want it on, I think it's also good because the steampunk community is very much a maker's community. We have several major steampunk artists working for us, with us already. And we have a sizable contingency of that down here, don't you? I see we have a steampunk carnival over here. I had that over there. Is it any good?
There's a show on at 5 o'clock if you want to go.
No. I've got a pack. I've got a bit. But I've got a what?
It's burlesque.
Zombie burlesque.
It is not.
And you love
You tried to get me in there. It's not steampunk? Steampunk zombies? Oh, that's carrying it too far. They will not be in Lantern City unless some major producer says, we'd love to see maybe some zombies or something. Yes, absolutely. I'll do anything to get it sold. Yeah. Wow. Anyway. Certainly more bad five things. Let's stick to kind of that because it is what this panel's about.
What was your hardest scene? How many takes did it take? You didn't have many ones that you had gone for like 47?
Oh, I did. I think I told that story. 47 takes.
Oh, that's right.
And then Claudia messed up all her lines. I had to go and do it again. I got it once right, just the way it was supposed to be. And then because I'd been 20-some takes, she was so pulling for me. And then she had the very next line, and then she completely forgot her line because she was so worried that I wasn't going to get through it.
Because you got some funny scenes with Peter as well. And,
Peter?
Yeah.
Jurassic? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we did, he did Scarecrow Mrs. Kane, he did, we were in Tron.
Yeah,
Briefly, I didn't really work with him in it, but Jeff did, but he was in there.
Yeah.
And,
He did MacGyver too. Yeah.
What, he did
by the
MacGyver?
ends.
Yeah. Oh, no, Peter and I came out, we talked about this, we'd actually met each other a lot earlier than that.
Oh, really?
Some auditions for something. We'd forgotten completely about it, but we came out to Hollywood around the same time, around 1973. It was fun. You know? He's a great guy, wonderful. He's just that jovial, colorful personality. He had heart surgery, you know. He and his wife Barbara left Los Angeles. They live in North Carolina. He's a teacher, and he gets film work every once in a while. You know, there's a lot of things shooting there. It's a right-to-work state, and so a lot of film companies come there.
It'd be great if he could come out.
Yep.
I know he'd love to. He does conventions. I don't know. I would have loved for him, for him.
Yeah.
I would have loved for the other guys to have been here. I was very disappointed they didn't come. I understand there are reasons, and kind of make fun of them a little bit. I received a email immediately the next morning from Claudia, and she did not bail out on you. No, she did not. It was strictly business. And Mira, I did get an express passport, but it was too late. So next year, Now you did get to talk to Joe, right? You Skyped with him?
Yes.
Had as
God,
well.
this thing's
So probably
good.
the one on Tuesday.
Skyping with Joe.
Yeah, on a
He's an
tiny
amazing
screen.
guy. He really is. He's a
Yeah.
genius, I think.
Yeah,
We
totally.
screen like this.
He was that big,
We're in
wasn't
this room with a screen like that.
Yeah, huge screen.
he? God, what time was it there?
God knows.
We didn't ask that.
It would be late at night.
He stays up late at night. That's when he works. He's one of those night owls. He's a brilliant fellow, though. He's such a prolific writer.
He's got a bit going on at the moment.
He's got what?
He's got a bit going on at the moment.
Yeah, he is. I think he's got a new TV series coming out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Vlad, I think it is. He's got some feature films, more feature films. He did a lot. He's really good. Yes, sir, back there.
Bruce, do you,
Yeah.
do you see Jason McLeod finish it all?
I don't know where Jason is. I have no idea where he is. Is anybody
He
found
probably
out?
said the same thing.
Because I have no idea.
And did you see Jeff before he passed away?
I did. And then horrifically we saw him on television. It all being sort of played out in front of it. It was kind of like I had to watch. I was watching a terrible accident happen. You don't know about these things, It wasn't the guy I remembered. So he had really changed. Drugs are insidious. So really took a hold of him.
I know this.
He was crippled up so badly he couldn't even stand up. He looked like a 100-year-old man. And it was just amazing because he was a physically fit, vibrant fella, And oh well. He had demons, we all have our demons.
Last guy to see you before you died at Melon Friday.
He was the last guy to see me. God, you remember this. That's right, I said goodbye to him, didn't I? Or did I say goodbye?
He was at the station.
That's right. I don't remember much of that because it was too damn sad at the time. Because we literally were leaving it and we were finishing it, and I was not happy. And I'll admit that right on camera here. I was a big baby about the whole thing. I was not happy. I loved doing that show. I didn't think it should end. This is all my personal opinion. I know business reasons for not continuing it on in the way they do. I would have wanted, but I was too in it to be able to have an objective view. You know what I'm saying? To see the whole picture. Whereas Joe and those guys, obviously knew all the things that were going on and why and wherefore, but I wanted to continue with it. Because everybody else actually had a whole season on me. They had a first season, a pilot. I didn't get to do that. But we had the 2-hour movies, which I thought were good for the most part. I was in 3 of those, so I felt good. After that, but the whole experience kind of ended for me in a sort of it was such a euphoric time doing it. I really, really immersed myself in it every day. And when it ended, when it was going to end, I couldn't believe it. I just didn't want it to end. And probably was a bad boy about it. Oh well. I yelled and screamed and wanted my way, and I didn't get it. It's only because I loved it. It really was. And I loved the people in it. When they would leave, I would get real angry about it. So, yes?
Is there any roles that you missed out on that you really thought you would have done a fantastic job?
Oh my God. Yeah, quite a few. I don't know. Well, I was one of the 1,000 that George Lucas looked at for Luke Skywalker. That's why when Tron came along, when I saw that this other thing, and I said, well, it's kind of like Star Wars. It's not in space, but it's kind of like ships and things like that. You wear a helmet. No, I've been mainly television, so a lot of television things. I think I've had a pretty good run with that. There are a lot of feature films I wish I could have done, which I'll never be able to do. But well, you know, I couldn't be James Bond. I'm not British. Can't be that.
Can you do the accent?
No.
He was a James Bond in Australia.
Well, and you see what happened to him?
Yes.
Boy, was that a character that made his mark on this convention. He didn't make it down here, but in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Mr. Lazenby, by the way, I did work with George Lazenby and Bring Him Back Alive. Another series I did that died. And he didn't remember it, which I don't blame him. I walked into the hotel and I saw him standing talking to Christopher Judge and walked over and I said, George, my God, it's good to see you again. Hi, how are you? It's been so long. And he looked and he said, who are you? Well, that's a humbling one. That brings you right now. I said, we did this long, elaborate fight scene in this very crowded market. Bizarre, with elephants, camels, and 100 people, and carts, and chickens, and ducks, and we were rolling around, fighting in between everything, and Cindy Morgan was trying to stop us, and he didn't remember one bit of it.
It's a good Australian.
Yeah, all I remember is being one of the producers of that, and we were meeting him in the office, and he walked in, just brazen and bold, walked into the office. We were sitting behind a desk, and he walked in going, you know, this, whoever this bloke is you've got for the lead, I should be the lead, you know? I'm that Frank Buck character, blah, 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 and I'm sitting right there going, oh yeah, really? Really? Oh, he's perfect. This is the guy we want, you know. So anyway, he left us in Melbourne. He made quite an impression on some of the people that haven't met him before. Yeah.
Just talking about casting
Yeah.
earlier today, Cindy Morgan said that it was between her and Deborah Harry.
Yeah.
And Trump.
I remember
It would have
that.
been quite a different film with Deborah Harry in it.
Whoa, what is it gonna be?
It would have been quite interesting.
But it was quite the 80s, you know, that would have been if you think about it, that would have been a big plus there too.
Yeah, I wonder-
Nothing against Cindy, but I mean, nothing much. See, I can talk about her now. Well, she'll hear about it. That's Cindy's and that's our shtick that we do with each other. We're the battling Bickersons. We, everyone asks, are you two married?
But you might have got a much bigger fan. You'd have got a lot.
Yeah, because remember at the time, Deborah Harry was really huge. My God, we would have had probably a different soundtrack too, you know. But worked out the way it did, you know. I'm sure. You know, Cindy had, you know, Caddyshack and all that. And who knew what was going to happen? You never know these things. It might have been an absolute terrible thing too. I didn't know that Deborah Harry was an actor. I didn't know that she could act. But I can see where those kind of blondes were very important then. Well, I'll get in trouble with that. Anyway, yeah.
In season 4, you had a few heated scenes with Jerry. Did you guys crack up laughing after those scenes, or did you take it pretty seriously?
No, we shoved each other around quite a bit.
Yeah,
And he hit me.
yeah. Did he actually physically hit you?
No, he didn't really.
He did a good faker.
Yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to be. If he'd hit me that hard, I probably wouldn't be unconscious on the floor. Yeah, and what was the reason? We were staging that. Garibaldi and Sheridan, we were staging the whole thing anyway.
Pre-programmed by this.
Yeah.
He wasn't himself.
Yeah, Jerry's a queer character. He and I became very, very good friends, and I lament that he's moved up to Las Vegas. He's a shock jock now. He's a radio personality, and he calls me once in a while. You know, we'll talk. I can't get it. I'm not a big fan of Vegas. I really am not. If you're there about an hour and I want to go home already, it's just too much. It's like all of this on massive beyond dream steroids, right? I mean, it's just crazy. And they never turn the lights off. It's like you know, so because it's going around the clock. But he likes that. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, he's carrying it all. You know, he's Mr. Vegas. You know, driving a Ferrari now, and he's.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh, he's making big bucks. He finally hit the big time. You know. And I kept trying to keep him from being fired on Babylon 5. He was always in trouble. He was always, you know, because listen, I'm the only one that was on that series that had series experience. I'd already been in 2 television series and miniseries, and truly was the only one, other than Jeff Conaway, who had already done Taxi and so on. But I had that experience, and the rest of them didn't. And oftentimes I was the one that would take them aside, or they'd ask me, and I'd go, look, man, you gotta just, I would tell him, you just got to cool it. You know, they're gonna can you, and that's why, and in all intents and purposes, basically, I think that's why Zach Allen character came aboard, because Garibaldi might have gone missing. And he came close to it.
Yeah.
He came close to it. But he's a great guy, and you know what? He did. He just, it was his way of acting out. Jerry's a tough kid. He's a street kid from back east, and he was, you know, he just had, it was kind of his first experience with it all. When it started getting real popular, it's amazing to watch a show and watch your actors when popularity starts to happen. Woo. Things come to the surface. You've never, people deal with fame, you know, differently. And it can be so destructive. You see a lot of destructive traits come out of people that you never knew was there before. Fame is a drug, and it is very addictive. And I think a lot of actors, actresses, people in the arts have got addictive personalities anyway. And then what you don't realize is when that thing goes off, and it will end, everything ends. You want that fix, and it's not there anymore. That's why the older the better. The younger ones really have a tough time with it. That's why they have so many. You know, believe me, I was married to an ex-child star. She would tell you, it's tough when nobody wants you and you're only 11 years old. And everyone adores you. Everyone's wanting everything you say. People are listening to. People are taking, writing down. They're photographing. We're doing all this, and then it stops, and you don't know what to do. Of course, the worst one to talk about. No, it really is. So that happened a lot. I watched it happen when I managed to get there, and then that second season, suddenly we started to get more notice, and I saw people starting to get a little cocky and a little this and that, and I was always there saying, hold on, brother. First of all, we're in for a ride if this thing really takes off, and it was starting to. Then you're going to have to hold on, because you have all kinds of people coming at you going, you're not getting paid enough. You should quit, or you should hold out and not come back until they pay you enough. Well, in this outfit, Doug Netter and Joe Straczynski and the Warner's people, it would have never worked.
Yeah.
They'd been fired and replaced. We were always, and I knew better than anybody.
Yeah.
Because I replaced a guy.
Yeah.
I knew how fragile that position was, and Gary Cole was waiting in the wings anyway, so and he got the next one. So, oh well, it's all in the past now. Got anything more you want to talk about? Otherwise, let's go have a beer or something. I feel like we're in somebody's living room anyway. We'll turn TV on. What's that?
Not much.
Not much. E5. I wish. I wish we had it. I wish we could screen some of it or something. We could talk about. I could tell you about.
Yeah, they do comment.
We're gonna say some straight in the car.
We used to have all these people from NASA because we're right there, and we have JPL in Pasadena there. And a lot of the astronauts and shuttle specialists would come out. And then we were invited there. I mean, Melissa and Jerry and I went to NASA in 1997, and they had a big fan club there at NASA. And these are all these real people, not the phonies we are, you know. And they're actually making all this really happen. Working on the International Space Station at the time and all that. And we went up. I went up. I remember Atlantis, STS-84. They were taking this British American scientist, astronaut Mike Foale up there to actually replace a guy that we had up there on the Russian space station, which doesn't exist anymore, the Mir space station. And apparently our guy had that was only been written about in the last few years because they didn't want to admit to that he had some issues. Cultural issues with the Russian cosmonauts, and also he was having some emotional issues, which any one of us might have, being up in a tin can in outer space. And so that was very interesting to me, but anyway, Mike Foale was going to go up there and replace him, and we witnessed that flight. It was a night flight. Jerry had had made sort of inroads to people. He was hanging out with them, going to bars and stuff. With the NASA people in Cocoa Beach and stuff like that. So he'd already been down there once before, and Melissa and I went down there. And it was so thrilling because we went up on pad 39 where there's the Atlantis right there. And we're taking the elevator up and we're outside. We could look out over the entire Cape, Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy, I mean. And I stuck there, and they had this thing, the White Room, and it's a tented off place right where at the very nose of the orbiter. And the techs were all in there doing the last minute things because this thing was going to take off for the Mir about 15 hours or whatever it was. We were up there real early in the morning, and I walked in, we had to be all, I kind of dipped my head in, and I'm looking around at this thing, and some guy looks at me, and I go, "Hi, how you doing?" And he says, "So when are you and Delenn ever going to get together?" That's the truth. And I went, "What?" You know, I looked at this guy, you know, they got all the disinfectant suits on, you know, the hazmat type looking suits and everything. Everything had to be clean, and I said, well, I really don't know. Yeah, how does this thing work? You know, so it was kind of exciting. But we always had this sort of rapport with them, and when some of them would come out, they're doing research work or whatever they were doing. They were going to JPL, and we always extended an invitation out to our sound stage, and they would come out, and we'd have on the wall, we had them signing, and like they always gave us patches and things like that from the various flights. It was always really cool. And a lot of that background that you saw of the space station in the nebula and all that sort of thing, all those were actual photographs from the Hubble telescope that were provided by JPL. So we did have that, that was real space. And those colors and things like that, it's, wow, fascinating. Yeah, we got to do all that stuff, and they loved it. And I would say, you know, you probably heard this story, but they'd say, you know, they were just so fascinated by how we did all this stuff, because we had really a very low budget, and we were very minimalist, and I think we did very, very well, creating for the time, the effects and things that we needed, but having you believe that we were actually on this big revolving station that provided its own gravitational field. And, you know, the effects were done, we didn't have a huge budget to do it, so we were the little space station that could. And, you know, the Star Trek juggernaut had, you know, millions and millions of dollars for their shows, and they loved it, as far as I'm concerned. Star Trek was always too clean. I need a little dust, I need a little rust on it, I need some dents in the walls and stuff. And I think that's what I like about the differences.
And dents in the characters as well.
And the characters were all dented. Yeah, very dented.
How much it cost you to leave?
Huh?
How much it cost? actor playing Kosh was there when you were on?
Oh, he was in there. That was Jeffrey, later married Pat Tallman. Jeffrey. He actually worked in The Office. And he was an actor too, off and on, but he basically worked out in front in their office, and he would come up and do, but he actually did the dialogue with me. Arkwright and Cartwright.
But there was no CGI on that suit. It was,
So that was him. That was all him.
the suit was the suit.
Suit was a suit. It was a big, strange-looking thing. I had nothing. I had these beady-looking things to look at. I didn't really have eyes, but I mean, you know, that knob, that hole in his face or whatever it was. No, I did all of it, and I thank God for Jeffrey. He knew all the cautious dialogue, and he did it along with me. You know, but it was strange. But what a fascinating character it was, though, in the end, right? Yes.
Just a bit related to the effects. Now, I mean, you mentioned a few days ago about how you had to add into like a ball set. So, what was one of the most an effect that you found most impressive later on when you saw it?
When I saw it?
Yeah. What you didn't expect, but turned out to be right.
Well, remember the one where I'm falling and Kosh did reveal himself, which I thought was a tremendously spiritual scene. I'm falling slowly, and as I get closer and closer, I'm going to hit that thing at 70 miles an hour. You know, because that big, closer you get to the revolver thing, it's going faster, but I was in the middle of that thing, and Kosh comes up there, and each alien race saw Kosh as they wanted to see him, you know. This is what he represented to them. I love that part. I thought that was great. And I thought it was pretty good looking for what we had. Pretty convincing. I was actually being hung by a cable. It was not the most comfortable thing to do, I'm going to tell you. It was sort of a crotch thing that I had to wear inside my pants, that they had cables sticking. I mean, of course, they CGI'd out the cable. But I thought it worked pretty well. I also think later on, I thought I liked some of the scenery in the movie we did, Call to Arms, when we were down on this planet. And I had these dream sequences where I'm out there with, you remember that at all?
Yeah.
Those were sets that were actually built. That was kind of nice. See, by then, and when TNT had come, suddenly now we had money. And third space, and in the beginning, I thought there was some good stuff. I kind of like doing In the Beginning again. It was interesting having gone this whole way and having shot my death, my riding off over the rim, and then coming back and buzzed my hair and colored it, and then suddenly, and that was after we'd come back from NASA and did that movie, and that was kind of fun, going back in time and playing young Sheridan. You know, for an actor, I couldn't have asked for a better role. I got to play every aspect of a man's life, even though he was truncated by, you know, he got his last 20 years. He wasn't an old man when he passed away, but he was get up there, and he was, you know, Lorianne had only given him 20 years.
Do you have any
Cool character.
Do you have any cool little things that you got from the show, like action figures, or you keep together?
Well, I have all the action figures. I was the first on my block to have an action figure. Got the dolls and things like that. I've stashed them away, though. You know.
Uniform?
And my kids. I don't have any of the uniform, no. That wasn't given us. I had a couple of the plaques that were in my office. I have the original. There was a Star Fury model on my desk. I wanted to have the space station model, but Joe got that. And he should have.
Yeah.
But and some of the plaques that you really couldn't see unless you freeze framed or something, tried to zoom it in or something. They had all the commendations and stuff like that. I kept a couple of those. I don't know where they are, but they're in the closet somewhere.
Did you keep any of the oranges?
No oranges. No. By the way, I had 2 glasses of orange juice before I came in here, so I've changed my. I do like orange juice. I hate teddy bears, love orange juice.
And baseball?
And I still love baseball. It's my favorite sport.
Teddy bear then.
Jerry was so much better swinger, though. Son of a gun. He had a great swing. I looked like a guy trying to chop down a tree with a bat. What did you say?
Didn't keep your teddy bear then.
No.
How many
takes did you do of that episode?
Oh,
Of
yeah,
you
I don't
swinging
know.
the bat
Oh.
and you two talking?
I was wringing in sweat.
Yeah.
We never got any exercise in that show, too. We never could get any exercise, because especially me, I was there morning to night, and it was very difficult. Weekends were the only time to do it. So by the end of the episode, by the end of the season, all of us guys had to start wearing it. They were getting concerned about those. We were all getting a little portly, you know. We had to look thin and everything, so we started dieting, because we always had the most amazing, what we call craft service table. It was like half of a hallway of just food. Why would they do that to us? You know?
And no gym.
And no gym at all. Well, there was no way to really do it. I mean, I couldn't go, you know, work out and get all. They did have some weights and stuff like that. It was mostly the crew guys doing that stuff. We couldn't, because we were makeup and hair and all that sort of thing, and go and do that all over. It was time-consuming, which you don't have. Time is always your enemy in television. But I have to say that the shows we never went late at night. I think one night we went late. It was 9:30 only. But the average for TV series, an hour-long drama. My God, they would do sometimes well into 2, 3 in the morning, and then turn around and come back and do it all again, you know. But, so it wasn't exactly ever a 9 to 5 job, but it was close. That's why I liked it. I got to stay home, I got to have a home life, I got to sleep in my own bed at night, as opposed to a hotel, you know? Which is what most of my career was prior to that, always going off somewhere to do a movie or a TV thing, and never getting to stay home. So, B5 answered a lot of things for Bruce Boxleitner too, on a personal level, other than it, you know, taking over a series, which was kind of fun.
Did anyone have the urge to go up to Mondo over there and go like, this was the idiot?
Nope. You know, I would have had 50 hairdressers pounding me in the head. No, I have to give credit to my actors, the friends who played the alien races, because they had the hardest work. They were there at 4:30 in the morning. You know, we wouldn't get on the set for a camera rehearsal until 7 in the morning. I would come, you know, me and Jerry and Jeff and Richard and all the guys that were the Earth Force guys. We would just come dancing in around 6:30, have some coffee, a little breakfast, then be ready to go, you know, get into our uniforms and makeup, a little base makeup. That's about all we wore, and that was it. Those guys had to be there for 3 hours in a chair before they even got out. Most of them slept, most of them. And that's what, I was talking to somebody earlier about Mira. It's, you know, she loved the role, but she hated that makeup, and I don't blame her. She's a pretty lady, and she's been covered up in all this stuff, and it's an actress, you know. You want to look kind of good, you know. And it was hard to do, and that's why they tried to adapt that. They tried to make it softer looking as she's becoming more human, you know, Minbari human. And but I know she hated it. It was tough for her.
Yeah, that forehead that they always put on her.
Yeah, and they tried to bring back, trying to make her hair longer and then bring it around. Yeah, it was still difficult. Billy Mooney, he liked it. I think he took all of his headpieces and sold them on eBay later on. Andreas would rather have lived and been Jakar than himself. He stayed in that stuff as long as possible. First time I ever saw him on the set, when I first just came on, and I saw a scene, I was watching a scene with he and Peter, and I asked him, would he please, I was going to be working later than them, would he please come back and introduce himself, because I had no idea what he really looked like. I had no idea. And he was so different looking than what I imagined him to be, you know. Then I recognized I had seen him before, but in movies, but
The Fugitive.
he was in The Fugitive, he was a one-armed man. He was a bunch of things. I mean, he had a great face. Son of a gun, smoked himself right into a grave. Unforgivable. 57 years old, way too young. And he was such a brilliant actor. He made that Narn a Shakespearean character. I really did. It was quite a shock, And so So all of them, they're all my brothers, and really crazy, you know, that they're not around. I mean, thank God for film, anyway. They live, and they will continue living. And as long as you keep watching that show, they will continue to live. Richard Biggs, funny, great, another really fine actor. His character, Franklin, I think, was kind of the heart and soul of the space station. He was the humanitarian. He was the sensitive one. When I wanted to go off and nuke everybody, he was the one, the voice of reason. But you know what I'm saying? He was such this man of peace. And then in a fight scene with a stunt double, he and Jason Carter, they're on a walkabout, they're doing something without Hamilton, and he hit this stunt man accidentally in a fight. Oh my God. With his eyes and surgery and everything. He actually hit him. Yeah. Accidents happen. And we didn't have a lot of physicality. We would have to, we always had great dust-ups in the Zocalo. We always had good fight scenes. I didn't get to be in enough of them. I always enjoyed those.
I like the one with you later, and you're like, I've been touched by a ball.
My favorite line always will be, Sheridan, we thought you were dead. I was, but I'm feeling much better. That whole Shadow War sequence was really, I think, the best. And now we were talking earlier today that somehow it had gotten truncated. It was going to be more in the 5th season. But the way it ended, I thought, my God, we've had one space battle after another. We can't just end this with another climactic space battle. And instead, I tell them to get the hell out of the galaxy. They don't. But those are always those twists and turns that Joe's brilliant writing provided. It was always a surprise. And I never looked ahead. I never wanted to know what was coming. I was intrigued, but I wanted to be surprised. I wanted to be like the audience too, you know. And just go, oh, good. I get to blow up Sadu.
My favourite scene of yours is when you put the gun against Lisa Alexander's head. You go, one connected by the touched by the four logs.
I did do that, didn't I?
That was a great scene.
Lita? I did that?
Yeah, she was tapping, making them all tap. She wasn't going to be arrested, and you were the only one not
What season was that?
5th season.
Fifth season.
Best scene in 5th season.
After Byron dies, and she gets angry.
I always, Pat and I always laugh about how we had oral sex with each other. Telepathic oral sex. Remember that scene she's like writing, it's in one of the movies, isn't it?
Yes.
Where the station's going crazy, we've got the third space, and she's writing, and then she's kind of like in this trance, and Dylan and I come in, and we're standing. And this is where somebody asked me if there were humorous things. We could not keep a straight face during this whole thing. We had to go, and they had this, and we said it was this oral thing, sex going. She shot into my mouth, and it was back and forth. She's I look great with the special effects. But in actuality, it was horrifically bad and stupid. Thank God for CGI. So we call that our oral sex. Warlon or whatever you want to call it. But, crazy stuff.
My favourite scene for you is where you're on the Alexander. No, you're on the Agamemnon, and you have to ram that defense satellite.
And all of a sudden you're going,
And you're going, give me ramming. And it's just the way your character changed, and you knew you were all going to die, and your whole crew were going to die, but it was just so. You did that really well.
Yeah, that was that's in the beginning, right?
No, that's
What was it?
end of season 4.
Yeah.
In season 4.
When you were taking back Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Shooting down the defense
Right.
platforms.
Those were great. God, I couldn't ask for better stuff to do.
Yeah,
You know, it was epic stuff.
that was great.
So there's one in season 4 that really stopped everything is when you were captured and it was you and the interrogator.
That's
okay. How
that
was
was the most challenging
Oh, really?
of all the material I had to do in there because it was just he and I.
Yeah.
It was a two-hander, as we call it. And
Dark room too? Or was
it was just a set built that was just a floor and three walls actually. And yeah, it was, that was really get down gritty.
Yeah.
You were drugged the whole time.
Yes. But I was not, Sheridan didn't have all his familiar things. He was totally naked in a way, you know. It was great. I loved it. We realized in that scene I'm on a gurney going down the hallway, and Harlan Ellison, we realized he can't act. So, marvelous writer, fantastic, prolific writer, but he wasn't an actor. He had like one or two lines in that, but we had to let him in. I talked with him a lot during that time. He's a fascinating guy, crazy as a bedbug. But everybody was on that show. It was delightfully crazy, I might add. Delightfully crazy. I want to make sure that you get that on film.
Bruce, we had Morgan Shep.
Yes.
Yeah, was it good working with him? He said it was good working with you.
He did. That liar. No, I loved working with him. I did. He was marvelous. We had great people on that show. Wayne Alexander. Can I talk about Wayne Alexander?
Yes.
Wayne Alexander, an alien for all seasons.
Yeah.
He played every alien race, and Lorian, which I love those scenes with him.
And Jack.
That was some really heavy stuff. Tick-tock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was marvelous, and that whole sequence of
Close to
being
tick,
dead
close to-
down in those catacombs there with him. And I just, the stuff was so imaginative, the material was so imaginative to do, and he was such a person. And you know, it pains me. Why isn't Wayne Alexander, I can't even say his name, Wayne Alexander is a major star. See, there's so many wonderfully talented people out there that will never get that break. He could outact Patrick Stewart or any of these. Never mind. Not Patrick Stewart. I admired Patrick Stewart.
It was great as Mr. Sebastian playing Jack
Yeah,
the
the
Ripper.
Inquisitor.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I mean.
And he was one of the.
Fantastic.
He was so versatile.
Minbari as
But he was
well.
in Drazi, he was Minbari, he was he did Arun. Did he play Arun? I know he was a Drazi.
He was a Drazi in your interrogation, wasn't
Yes, yes. I always said, Wayne, is that you? That familiar voice.
Was he the lead?
And also, what's the other fellow?
Purple Drowsy Green Drowsy?
Yes, who were we talking about that earlier? Sachs, right. Robin Sachs was also wonderful, and he was right from the beginning of the series, back at the pilot, Battle of the Line and all that. But he had a certain sinister quality that was always there. And so many. Robin Atkins, Downs. When are you getting a haircut? He was good. He was all good. So many. What else did we have? I was telling stories earlier. I had this little brunch thing that we had some marvelous guest stars and some not so marvelous guest stars. And we had some that elevated it. We were so happy to have come aboard, and then some we went, why are you even here?
And Joe miscast somebody as well.
Oh, the guy who's going to play General Haig.
No, the major dude.
Oh.
The major dude.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Jeff Bridges was not on this show.
No.
What? Who
The
was
one, it's Stephen James or
Yeah.
He was the captain of
Of one of the ships.
ship that General Haig had been
Yeah,
on.
the Alexander.
Oh, yeah.
And you say, where's General Haig? He goes, oh, he's been killed.
General Haig's been
The guy
killed.
says, oh, I can't
Oh,
remember his name.
God, I don't even remember that.
No.
And he was terrible? What was it?
No, he was
good.
Yeah, Joe wanted another actor with the same name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're telling me things that I didn't know.
Miscast.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Worked well.
Yeah. Who else did we have? It's somebody was on there that later got on to. Well, the guy that you're seeing all over television today, and he's a star of Breaking Bad. You remember seeing where I sent Brian?
Bryan Cranston. And the White Star.
What's his name?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. How could I forget that? Bryan Cranston off to his death.
Sent him on the White
You
Star.
remember that?
Yes, yes.
He was a ranger.
Yep.
Yeah.
He only had one scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They sent him off on that, knowing that he was not going to make it back. And he was just starting. He hadn't even done Malcolm in the Middle yet, or any of those things. He was just coming up, you know, on. He'd been, I think, from the Earth to the Moon. Is there somebody else moving in here?
Yeah, Chris Judge.
Chris Judge?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to stay here for that. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up because here comes the Cape Crusader.
What was it like working with this thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
Walter
one last
Kennedy.
thing, and that's
Yeah,
Alfred
yeah.
Bester. What is that? You got
No,
it?
no, that's fine.
Okay, I'm getting out of
Just
here.
short, because we've got shovels, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Walter Kennedy.
No, Walter's wonderful. He just got his star on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, that's nice.
So for Star Trek and,
Yeah.
and everything, certainly. No, he was wonderful. I loved all those things we got to do together. And
There's your crossover.
huh?
Star Trek.
Oh, man, what a nightmare that would have been. Anyway, thank you, Jim. Oh, anyway, take care, buddy. I'll see you all. Thank you.